AEW is reportedly deep in negotiations with Warner Bros. Discovery over a new television deal. Reportedly, the deal itself could be sealed, wrapped up, and announced in the very, very near future. And also, it could mean a massive change in the way that AEW does pay-per-views, with possibly one pay-per-view a month coming up in the near future. Brian Pillman Jr. has left AEW after his contract with the company has expired. Matt Hardy opens up about the plans last year for the Hardys to win the AEW World Tag Team Championships prior to Jeff Hardy being suspended by the company. Kevin Nash opens up on the Tiger Driver 91 controversy from Forbidden Door, and the great Tokan says he has turned down plenty of offers from All Elite Wrestling. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling, and we've got to start off talking about the big developing reports regarding AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery, and an extension of, and expansion as well, it must be said, of the television deal between All Elite Wrestling and Warner Bros. Discovery. Now, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, some major changes could be on the horizon for All Elite Wrestling. Fightful are reporting that they can confirm via Warner Bros. Discovery sources that AEW has long been involved in television rights extension talks. Those that Fightful have spoken to said the conversations have been ongoing for months, and they personally believe an announcement could be made this summer or fall of a deal being reached between the two parties. Warner Bros. Discovery sources have told Fightful they've been very happy with AEW, especially the flexibility they've provided with adding and subtracting shows, providing different kinds of content, and working around preemptions and network changes. One of the provisions regarding AEW content and Warner Bros. Discovery was that AEW content would be exclusive to the Warner Bros. Discovery brands, which signaled the end, of course, of the YouTube shows AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation on AEW's YouTube channels. However, Fightful have long heard that beyond the pay-per-view integration, Warner Bros. Discovery hasn't had much of an interest in the Ring of Honor branding themselves, and actually dates back to when Sinclair previously owned Ring of Honor. Now, they haven't, in fairness, said that they've heard that that has changed, or if anything's changed regarding that as of late, so the chances of Ring of Honor programming coming to Warner Bros. Discovery does seem unlikely, but now it's under the AEW umbrella, you never know, of course. Now, Warner Bros. Discovery does have plenty of say and influence over AEW programming, as we've seen in the past with crossovers and talent that are or aren't features. Of course, for a long period of time, the Briscoes were banned from appearing on AEW programming despite being under contracts to Tony Khan because of a mandate from Warner Bros. Discovery. However, Fightful have been told that AEW has also been really flexible with overruns as well as other requests that Warner Bros. Discovery have made. Regarding the broadcast of AEW All In, which has been a big topic recently, Fightful are told that that has been actively discussed as part of these ongoing talks. The Warner Bros. Discovery source did confirm what everyone has heard in the past, that the deal would be, quote, a huge money increase for AEW by the way things are looking now. That's because, of course, new programming's been added in the likes of AEW Collision. Other shows are actively being produced in reality shows. So once this deal does get announced, if indeed it does get agreed, and all chances are, according to Fightful, that this deal will be agreed and will be announced either in this summer or later on in the fall, it's going to be for a substantial money increase. Now, there had been money numbers being branded around, such as $1 billion over, let's say, 4 or 5 years. Again, those numbers haven't been mentioned here by Fightful, so we'll just have to wait and see. But this new television deal, if indeed it is agreed upon by AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery, could mean a significant change when it comes to the pay-per-view model that AEW currently follows. As I mentioned, Fightful Select had recently reported that AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery were deep into negotiations to extend their deal, but it could come with a massive change. And Warner Bros. Discovery sources confirmed to Fightful Select that one of the major proposals from their end to All Elite Wrestling as it relates to an extension is the subject of pay-per-view events. Specifically, a Warner Bros. Discovery source told Fightful that they mentioned the very likely possibility of significantly expanding the AEW pay-per-view schedule schedule even to one a month, which of course is the current model that WWE follows. It's also the model that the likes of Impact Wrestling have followed, WCW have followed. Pretty much every major pro wrestling company has followed that model since the 1990s, and AEW could be following that same model very soon. Now, Fightful have been told that this is something that Warner Bros. Discovery has wanted in the past. Now, they're not sure on if those would be standalone or included in the Max streaming deal, as Warner Bros. Discovery sources would not elaborate on that. So you could have a situation a bit similar to Impact Wrestling, where some could be traditional pay-per-views, whereas others could be included in a Max streaming deal, and they would be considered premium live events, and others would be pay-per-view events. Again, there's lots of different details to be worked out here. AEW has already expanded their special event schedule, adding Forbidden Door last year and AEW All In this year as well. However, there have been no broadcast plans revealed as of yet for AEW All In, so we'll have to wait and see. Nothing in the deal is finalized to the knowledge of Fightful, and this could change, but the expanded schedule has been discussed. So the question I put to you guys then is, what are your thoughts on the news that these deep negotiations are taking place? What do you think the number is going to be in terms of if Warner Bros. Discovery and AEW do come to a deal, which it looks likely that they will? How long do you think this deal will be for? And what are your thoughts, importantly, on moving to a monthly pay-per-view model? Is that something you'd like to see? It will fundamentally change AEW's storyline planning. Is that a good thing, or will it dilute the product, and also will it dilute the bigger pay-per-views that AEW has? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Now let's talk some departures from AEW. Brian Pillman Jr. is no longer All Elite. Brian Pillman Jr.'s All Elite Wrestling contract has expired, and he has left the company, according to a new report from PW Insider. Pillman Jr. is also no longer on the official roster page of the AEW website. The last time that Pillman had a televised AEW match was against Swerve Strickland on the February 3rd episode of Rampage. His last non-televised match for AEW was on May 13 at a House Rules Tour event. Pillman Jr. signed with AEW in July 2021, but he was actually with the company long before that. He made his AEW debut in 2019 at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Much of his time in the company was spent teaming with Griff Garrison when they were known as the Varsity Blondes. While they never held the AEW Tag Team titles, Pillman and Garrison were in a number of AEW World Tag Team title #1 contender matches, and on May 13, 2021 episode of Dynamite, they actually had a shot at the titles against then champion the Young Bucks. Julia Hart was also part of the act before she joined the House of Black. More recently, Pillman has been tagging with Brock Anderson. Another one of Pillman's highlights from AEW was his short feud with the current AEW World Champion MJF back in September of 2021. The feud led to a match between the two at Arthur Ashe Stadium on the Dynamite Grand Slam special on September 22nd, with MJF getting the victory. Pillman has still been busy in the ring, even since what appears to be his last match with All Elite Wrestling. He last wrestled Friday at the Appalachian Championship Wrestling event, so he's going to have plenty of independent dates to do, but as of right now, his contract's expired and he's now left AEW. Where do you think Brian Pillman Jr. ends up next? Could he go to Impact Wrestling? Could he go back to MLW, which he started his career at as well? Matt Hardy has opened up about the plans last year, people forget about this, for the Hardy Boys to win the AEW World Tag Team titles. Over a year on from his June 2022 DUI arrest, we now potentially know AEW's original creative plans for Jeff Hardy, according to his brother Matt Hardy. Speaking to Daily Mail Online, Matt discussed the original plans for him and Jeff leading into the summer of 2022, plans that look to be heading towards the Hardys capturing their 12th World Tag Team Championship and first for AEW. He revealed, quote, "It was very tricky because I feel like we were right on that point where I think the Hardys were going to have a run with the AEW tag titles, and we had some stuff planned out for the next few months, and then once Jeff's incident happened, then everything was up in the air, you know, and it was just kind of in limbo." On June 15's edition of AEW Dynamite, there was set to be a three-way ladder match with then champions the Young Bucks defending against the Hardys and Jurassic Express, and the belief was the original plan was for the Hardys to win that match. However, that was changed when Jeff needed a brain scan, and the plan was to take him out of the ladder match for medical reasons, but then on the way to that brain scan, he was arrested for DUI. As a result of Jeff's near year-long absence, Matt eventually progressed into a program with Ethan Page and the firm, a storyline that still continues to this day, now joined by a returning Jeff who made his return to AEW in April of this year. Despite only recently returning, Jeff has once again been off AEW TV lately, as AEW's tour of Canada has prevented him from traveling to the country due to issues stemming from his prior arrest. So it's interesting. What could have been, certainly, the Hardys could have been the AEW World Tag Team Champions. Now, Kevin Nash has been generating a bit of controversy controversy recently with his thoughts and opinions on LA Knight. The wrestling world is still buzzing from the all-time classic, though. That was Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Championship at Forbidden Door pay-per-view. That was, of course, co-hosted by AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. With many fans considering the bout a Match of the Year candidate, there is also those who have debated some of the moments in the match. During the closing stretch of the encounter, Ospreay used the move formerly known as the Tiger Driver 91, now known as the Storm Driver 93 on Omega, dropping him on his head hard. On the latest Click This podcast, Kevin Nash discussed the move, addressing that Omega is lucky to have not been hurt. Nash said, quote, "The stars aligned right for Kenny because he didn't get paralyzed. There's a lot of luck in what we do. I'm not just going to take all the assets that I've gathered in the last 30 years and go to the roulette wheel and put on double green zero and give it a spin." Kenny Omega, of course, was fine and will compete alongside the Elite's Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks against the Blackpool Combat Club and Konosuke Takeshita in the Blood and Guts match on the July 19 edition of AEW Dynamite, that being a week today. So what do you think about Kevin Nash's comments about about Kenny Omega, rather? A lot of K's there. Was he lucky in that taking that move, or is it a safe move if you know how to do it properly, like anything in pro wrestling? Finally, a lot of people enjoy the great Tokan and his social media antics, and he's now stated that he's turned down offers from AEW president Tony Khan in order to stay in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Of course, Great Tokan is part of the United Empire faction led by IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay. He was one of the founding members of the group and has seen Ospreay's faction expand ever since. Two of Okan's faction mates, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis of Aussie Open, have since moved on from New Japan and signed with AEW. In an interview with Tokyo Sports, Great Tokan indicated that he has turned down opportunities to work for AEW to stay in Japan. When it was suggested that the United Empire is leaving New Japan, Great Tokan said, quote, "What do you mean? You shut up. It was on orders that Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher went to AEW to expand the Empire's territory as planned. I also got a big offer from Tony Khan and MJF asked me to fight, but I turned them down in favor of my invasion of New Japan." Of course, that was translated from Japanese. But Okan is set to compete in the G1 Climax tournament as part of the B block. Other stars notably set to clash with Okan in block action include Kazuchika Okada and the leader of United Empire, that being Will Ospreay. So, Great Okan, what are your thoughts on him? Do you enjoy his antics, or is he a bit too over the top for you? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. This is the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.